So now, one of the most interesting topics that I love myself is chemical equilibrium. So in chemical equilibrium, you must remember that for you to notice that this is equilibrium, then you must have a reversible reaction. So if someone gives you a reversible reaction as a chemist, don't just say chemical equilibrium. You must say that this is reversible first, and then it is also at equilibrium. What happens at equilibrium? So equilibrium is a state of balance, guys, where you don't see any change. You don't see any change. Once the product is being formed, at the same rate, it is also used up to form the reactants. So from a layman point of view, you don't see any change. So if you are in industry, you are producing something and then there's equilibrium, then there's nothing you are producing because what you are using to produce something is also being produced the same amount. So you don't see any change. That is chemical equilibrium. So now, at equilibrium, equilibrium is good for the chemical reaction, but it's not good for you, the chemist. So for you to disturb that equilibrium, you add a stress. I explained so much about the stress. The stress can be anything that shifts the equilibrium. Stresses include change in concentration. When you add any of the reagents that is there in the reaction, then that is a stress. When you change the concentration of the reactant, then the forward reaction is favored. The equilibrium shifts to the right. More products will be formed and equilibrium will be established again. So that is one stress. Another stress is pressure. Pressure is also a stress. It will shift the equilibrium. So pressure becomes a stress. So pressure and volume are used interchangeably because to change the pressure, you must change the volume. So you find in a textbook, it tells you volume. You as a chemist, a learned chemist, you know that this is also pressure because pressure is like concentration, but for a gas. So equilibrium will shift towards the side where if you just have other phases and you just have one gas, where the gas is a reactant, the equilibrium will react in the opposite side to that reaction because the gas will now be used up more. But then if you have gases throughout or more than two gases, you must look at the coefficients there. If the side that has a bigger coefficient is one which will be favored. But then if the coefficients from the balanced equation are the same and you have gases throughout, then the equilibrium will not shift. So you must know that. You must also know the Le Chatelier's principle, which says if a stress is added to a system in equilibrium, the system will react in such a way as to relieve that stress and restore equilibrium under a new set of conditions. Just like scars, when you get injured, your body will heal, but the scar will remain. But then you won't feel anything, but the scar will just be there. So it's the same thing with chemical equilibrium. When you disturb the stress, equilibrium is re-established after some time. The other stress is temperature. Temperature, remember, it always favor when you increase the temperature. How do you increase the temperature? You add heat. Heat is, when it is added, it will favor the side that is endothermic. So where heat is a reactant, it will favor now going towards the product. So meaning if you always look for the endothermic reaction, this is equilibrium. So the endothermic reaction can be the product reaction or the reactant reaction. And remember the catalyst, guys, the catalyst is not a stress. It just speeds up chemical reaction. Catalysts are very important. Doesn't mean that they're not important when you say it's not a stress. They're very important. Imagine, guys, you are thirsty, you want to drink your beer, and then you are told that it will be ready after 7 days of reaction, which is a normal reaction for beers. Those of you who have brewed in the village, you know that. But then at breweries, they have enzymes and enzymes so that the reaction is fast. So catalysts are those things that help the reaction to be fast. Even a friend, if you like a girl, and then a friend goes and helps you to get that girl, he acts as a catalyst. So catalysts become very important. So remember, guys, This is where we are ending this session. Thank you very much. Stay safe, wash your hands, and do everything that is required of you.